Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this revision classes. In this revision class, we are going to go through all the modules of basic electrical engineering. And while going through the different modules, we are going to cover all the derivations, whatever are the important questions that are from the exam perspective that we will discuss. How to write those questions, how to answer those questions. We will look into those things, and also we will look into some of the question papers. Even before we start with our revision, we will look into some of the question papers, and we will try to understand if there are any repeated questions where you can keep your focus. And as I told you, you have to keep a notebook. Okay, while you are attending this class, keep a notebook and pen. Whatever I am saying, whatever is important, please note it down. Okay. And those questions you have to write in a separate, in a neat way. Okay. Write the answers, refer to the textbook, refer to the notes, you can refer to anything. Then write the answers in your own words and try to memorize those. Okay. So first thing is, in the first module, we are going to see DC circuits. In this, we are going to see what is the Ohm's law, what is Kirchhoff's law. So this Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's law, it has, if you see the previous question paper, it is repeatedly asked. You can take it as 100% this question will come in the exam. Memorize the Ohm's law. You have to state the Ohm's law, write the statement for the Ohm's law, then draw the circuit diagram, write the relation. Okay. I is directly proportional to V is directly proportional to I, and therefore V is equal to IR. Have a circuit diagram, then show that relation with respect to that circuit diagram, and you have to remember what are the limitations of the Ohm's law. Ohm's law and limitations of the Ohm's law, important question. Kirchhoff's law. There are two Kirchhoff's law, Kirchhoff's voltage law and Kirchhoff's current law. Both are very, very important. And when for Kirchhoff's current law, you have to write the statement, what is Kirchhoff's current law, then draw the circuit diagram, write the equation, very, very important. Wherever there is a diagram and wherever there is a equation, please write it. You I told you, examiners, if they see the equation, if the equation is correct, then 100% your statement would be correct. You will get more marks. If there is any kind of a diagram or circuit diagram, please draw it. Okay. It will give you some additional marks. So wherever equations are there, wherever diagrams are there, circuit diagrams are there, you must write those, so that will get you additional marks. Then Kirchhoff's voltage law statement, the equation, then circuit diagram, applying the KVL to that circuit diagram. This will fetch you 100% marks. Then we will see what is a analysis of a series and a parallel combination of a resistor. In case of a DC circuit, we have only one load, that is a resistor. If we connect resistors in series, what would be the behavior? If we connect them in a parallel, what would be the behavior? If we connect in series and parallel combination, how to solve those circuits, we will see. Then power and energy, concept of what is power, what is the energy, definition of the power, definition of the energy you should remember, and equations based on the power and the energy. And as I told you, the problems, if they ask Ohm's law, they will be asking the problem based on the Kirchhoff's law. If they ask the Kirchhoff's law, they will be asking the question based on the Ohm's law, means series parallel or combination of series parallel. They will ask you to solve that particular circuit. And there might be questions, problem to calculate the power and energy as well. That would be the first part, very, very simple part. And next is AC fundamentals. In AC fundamentals, we will learn what is the alternating quantities, then how we generate the alternating quantity, generation of a sinusoidal voltage. So here important, Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's law, Ohm's law and Ohm's law limitation, Kirchhoff's law, then characteristics of the series circuit, characteristics of a parallel circuit, definition of power and energy, and in all the places equations and diagram. In second AC fundamentals, the most important question is derivation of the average value for the alternating quantity and derivation of the RMS value, root mean square value. There are two derivations are there. Please remember that it is very important. Write in your own way or refer to any book. uh, write write the question, find the average value of the alternating quantity, write the answer. So when you are writing that, you have to draw the waveform, then do the derivation. What would be the average value of the alternating quantity in terms of for the peak value? Similarly, the derivation for the RMS value, very important. Generation of a sinusoidal voltage, I would say not very important, but important question. Generation of a sinusoidal voltage, then frequency of the generated voltage, then definition and numerical values of the average value, root mean square value, form factor. This is you have to remember that formula for the form factor and the peak factor of a sinusoidally varying voltage, and phasor diagrams. Okay, phasor representation of the alternating quantities. So in this particular part, most important is average value and the derivation of the average value and the RMS value, then generation of a sinusoidal voltage. In module 2, we are going to see single phase circuits. In this case, single phase circuit, the what questions you can expect is the analysis of a AC circuit having a pure inductor or pure capacitor, pure RL, pure RC. At least one among these definitely it will come, and R and RLC, based on this understanding, you can easily do it. 100% one of these six will come. So if you see the question paper, and you will have the choice, right? From model 2 you will have question number 3 and question number 4, and in both the choices you might get one, right? In the first question you might get a pure inductor, in the second question you might get a RC circuit, so like that. So analysis of R, L, C, RL combination, RC combination, RLC combination. When we talk about the analysis, what we do here is we take that particular load, whether it is a resistor or an inductor or a capacitor, we connect it to alternating voltage source, that is V is equal to Vm sin omega t, that voltage source. It will result in a alternating current, okay, I. That current, in case of a resistor, how it would be, in case of an inductor, how it would be, in case of a capacitor, how it would be, that derivation we are going to do. You will find out in case of a resistance, you will find voltage and the current are in phase. And if you remember what is the phase, phase is the angle between the voltage and the current. So what is the meaning of that? We will look when we talk about that. So there is a phase. In case of a resistor, both current and voltage are in phase. In case of a pure inductor, current lags the voltage by 90 degree. In case of a capacitor, the current leads the voltage by 90 degree. And in case of a RL, current will lag the voltage by an angle phi. In case of a RC circuit, current will lead the voltage by an angle phi, and we will understand how to find the angle phi. Then in case of a RLC, it can behave in three ways. Either if XL and XC. What is XL? XL is inductive reactance, and XC is capacitive reactance. If both are equal, the circuit will behave like a pure resistance. So voltage and current would be in phase. If XL is greater than XC, the circuit will behave like a RL, that is current lags the voltage by an angle phi. And if XC is greater than XL, the current will lead the voltage by an angle phi. And we are also going to find out what is the power consumed in those circuits: real power, reactive power, apparent power, and power factor. This part is very simple. If you understand what is the phasor diagram, how to draw the phasor diagram, if you have knowledge of that, this is very simple module. This part is very simple. It looks like a big, but if you understand the concept behind it, it's very easy. If you understand one thoroughly, and if you remember the relation in R, L, and C, easily you can solve do the derivation. And also there will be problems based on these combinations. Okay, if you understand the theory, then problems is on the similar line, we can solve the problems also. Then three-phase circuits. In case of a three-phase circuits, very important question is okay. Uh, okay, one is measurement of three-phase power using 2 wattmeter method. Okay, that is one important, very important question. And the relation between the line and the phase entities, current or voltage, in case of a star and a delta connection. These three are very important. First one is 2 wattmeter method theory, as well as the problems based on that. Then relation between the phase and the line entities in a star and delta connected load. So either they can ask a star connected load or a delta connected load. These are very important questions from this particular module. Okay, so in this three-phase circuits, we are going to understand advantages of three-phase power, generation of three-phase power, three-phase balance circuits, voltage and current relations in star and delta connection, measurement of three-phase power using 2 wattmeter method. So those are the important questions from module 2. In case of a module 3, single phase transformer is very simple. There are most important question from single phase transformer is a EMF equation, derivation of the EMF equation. Second most important question is condition for maximum efficiency. Then there can be questions on other like write a note on the losses, what is efficiency, all those things. So which are the two most important question? EMF equation, derivation of the EMF equation, and second one is the condition for maximum efficiency. These two are very important, and problems based on the EMF equation and problems based on the condition for maximum efficiency, and problems based on the efficiency of the transformer. So here this is very simple. Don't study this thoroughly. What I would suggest is module 1, do 100% preparation because it is easy. Module 2, if you understand, if you get a logical understanding of these three, this is very simple. Cover this portion completely. This both theory and problem, this both theory and problem, and module 3 I would suggest the single phase transformer is very easy, both theory and problems are just a kind of a substitution problems. Okay, only a little bit tricky problems you might get is here. Okay, rest all are like substitution. If you remember the equation, it is a substitution. Then second part of a module 3 is again full theory. Here, domestic wiring, service mains, meter board, distribution board, brief discussion on concealed conduit wiring, two-way and three-way control. Most important question. Okay, two-way control of a lamp and three-way control of a lamp. You have to draw a neat diagram. You have to draw the table, truth table. Okay, based on the positions of the 2 or 3 switches. What would be the status of the lamp, on or off? Then explanation. Okay, explanation. These three things are important. So two-way and three-way control is a very important question from the exam perspective. Then elementary discussion on circuit protective devices, fuse and miniature circuit breaker, electric shock, precaution against shock. So there, this might be a like most important question is two-way and three-way control. Then earthing. What is earthing? Explain one of the two, pipe earthing and the plate earthing. So most important question once again, two-way control of a lamp, three-way control of a lamp, pipe earthing and plate earthing, 4 things. And next one is what is electric shock, precaution against the shock. Those are the important things. And module 4. Okay, so when you are doing the preparation, better you go to the module 5 first and keep the module 4 last. Okay, in class also, if you remember, we covered it in the same sequence. Module 1 complete, prepare completely. Module 2 prepare completely. Module 3 prepare completely. And module 5 is also very easy, simple theory problem, simple theory questions are there, and simple substitution problems, provided you remember the formulas. What I would suggest is make a cheat sheet and write all the equations. Module 1, what are the equation? Module 2, what are the equation? Module 4, what are the equation? Module 5, what are the equation? Try to remember those equations. So in exam, even if you write the correct equation and do some calculation, some part need not be 100% correct. If you do little bit also, there is a very high chance that you will get some marks for those. Maybe for your equation, maybe you found out some one or two unknowns. For each and every step you will get a marks. Don't leave any module 100%. At least if you want to leave certain part of the module, just have a glance so that you can write something. Okay. And I want you to prepare module 5 100%. Three-phase synchronous generator, principle of generation, constructional details, then synchronous speed. What is synchronous speed? Frequency of the generated voltage, EMF equation. Okay. In this part, the important question is the construction. Okay, construction of a three-phase generator or the alternator, very very important, and EMF equation. EMF equation of a three-phase generator is very very important. Then others is fine. Concept of winding factor, that is okay. So most important question is construction of a three-phase inductor, EMF equation of a three-phase inductor, and also principle of operation. They might ask the principle of operation in three-phase induction motor. Again, principle of operation, then generation of a rotating magnetic field. Generation of rotating magnetic field is the most important question. It has repeatedly it has been asked. Please focus on that. Then construction and working of a three-phase induction motor. Construction is important. Prove that three-phase power given to three-phase winding will create a rotating magnetic field. That is this part. That is important question. Then induction motor, slip and its significance, necessity of a star delta starter. So those are the things. These are very simple theory and easy problems. Simple problems are there that you can easily manage. Then coming to module 4. Module 4, what the thing what you can do is if you want to take a choice here, you can prepare 100% DC generator, and if DC motor is confusing for you, then maybe you can leave this part. Okay, but have a glance, then you can leave this part. This is for those who are looking for passing the exam. Those who are trying to score the exam, please cover all the modules 100%. DC generators, in this principle of operation, construction of a DC generator is a very very important question. Expression for the induced EMF. So this EMF equation is very important. Then types of DC generator, relation between induced EMF and terminal voltage. So there are different types of generators are there. In each generator, we have to find the relation between induced EMF and the terminal voltage. Uh, Once you understand the concept, how to get the relation between the induced EMF and the voltage, we are going to discuss about it. You can easily do it for everything. You can write the theory question, or you can write the problems. You can solve the problems. In DC motors, principle of operation, back EMF, torque equation. Torque equation is very very important. And here DC motor construction is exactly same as this. So normally they will ask the construction of a DC machine. For both generator and motor, it is the same construction. Then types of DC motors, characteristics of a DC motor. This is also asked many times. Characteristics, then applications. So that is the just overview of the your complete syllabus. We will look into some of the question papers just to understand whatever the pattern we talked about just now. That is how the questions will come in the exam or not. Okay, so I have some of the question papers here. You are able to see my screen, right? Okay. You can see module 1. This question paper is July 2019. You can see state and explain Kirchhoff's laws. It is for 8 marks. Very easy, 8 marks. If you write the statement, the equation, then circuit diagram, apply the KCL to that diagram, apply the KVL to the diagram, you will get complete 8 marks here. Define form factor and peak factor, obtain values for sinusoidal voltage. This is very simple thing. We will see what is form factor and peak factor. Then we have one problem. A circuit consists of two parallel resistors having resistors 20 ohm, 30 ohm respectively connected in series with 15 ohm resistor. If current through 15 ohm resistor is 3 amperes, then you have to find. Very simple circuit. We have two resistors in connected in parallel and 15 ohm is connected in series. They have given what is the current that is flowing through the 15 ohm resistor, and you have to find the currents. Then you can say define average and RMS value of a sinusoidal, also derive the respective expression. So here you can see both together they have been asked. Here you have to define the average value and the RMS value, and you have to derive their expression. It is 8 marks. Find the potential difference between the point X and Y. Please refer to your notes. We have solved this problem. We have solved this kind of a problem. Very simple problem. You can see state Ohm's law and mention its limitation. So you can see both Kirchhoff's law and Ohm's law has been asked. So you can attempt one of the questions. Whichever problem is easy for you, you can attempt that particular question. Obtain the behavior of voltage, current, power in a pure inductor. So it is a pure L connected to single phase AC supply, 8 marks. So here either you will get a pure inductor or a pure capacitor. Whatever is the phrase of that question, don't worry about the phrase of the question. If it is a pure inductor, whatever is given in the notes, you do the derivation according to that. And for pure capacitor, similarly you can follow whatever is given in the notes, or you can refer to any book. Show that three-phase power can be measured using only 2 wattmeter method for a balanced star connected load. So you can see here 6 marks, very easy, 6 marks. Then three-phase load connected in delta, okay, delta connection, and we will solve few problems so that you will understand how we can solve this. This is very simple. There is you can easily score this complete 6 marks. Then we have question number 4, obtain expression for line and phase relationship of a voltage, current and power in a star connected system. Either you will get it as star or a delta. Then we have this particular problem based on see voltage is it is given in a complex number format or the rectangular format. I have told you, you can use the complex number directly. You can put your calci in the complex number format, and you do the direct complex number calculation. Okay. So this is voltage. V is equal to 160 plus J 120 is applied to a circuit. The current is given by current is 6 plus J8. You have to remember the formula V is equal to I into R. Okay. That is the Ohm's law, isn't it? V is equal to I into R. That is for the DC circuit. If it is a AC circuit, V is equal to I into Z. What is Z? Z is impedance. Z can be resistor, then V is equal to IR. Z can be inductive reactance, XL, then V is equal to I into XL, or Z can be capacitive reactance, that is XC. V is equal to I into XC, right? So or Z can be RL circuit. If it is a RL circuit, then it is a square root of R square plus XL square, and so on. We will see those. Based on that, we know V is equal to I into Z. Now V is given, I is given. Therefore, Z is equal to V divided by I, right? V is, you in the calci, you put it in the complex number format. Directly put 160 plus J 120 divided by this number 6 plus 8. You will get the impedance of the circuit in a complex number format. Okay. What you have to calculate here is calculate the power factor of the circuit and power consumed by the circuit. So once you know the impedance, what is the power factor? If you remember, cos phi is the power factor. What is the phi? Phi is the angle between the voltage and the current. Cos phi is the power factor is equal to R divided by Z. Once you find the impedance, right? Impedance, you will get it in the form, similar form, X plus JY. X is the resistance and Y is the X component. Either it is a XC or XL, X component. So you can find cos phi is equal to R divided by Z, and Z is square root of R square plus X square. So simple, 6 marks. Balanced 3-star connected system draws power from 440 volt. This is a 2 wattmeter method. You have 2 wattmeter readings, and they have given 2 wattmeter readings. You have to you have to remember what is the formula for W2 plus W1, what is the formula for W2, what is the formula for W1, and this would be very simple problem. You can easily score 6 marks. And sometimes in this particular case they have given W1 is 5 kilowatt, W2 is 1.2 kilowatt. You have to remember, sometimes they won't give the which is W1 and which is W2. Whichever is the higher rating, means higher reading, that is a W2. Okay, W2 never it will be smaller than this. In this particular, they have given it incorrectly. They have treated this as the W2. So with respect to our derivation, W2 is always the higher value. Okay, you have to do like that. For suppose if you in the exam you get like this, you say assume W2 is equal to 5 kilowatt and W1 is 1.2 kilowatt. Okay, next. Sorry. Okay, module 3. Explain electric shock, its cause and precaution to be taken to prevent them. Discuss about the various types of losses in the transformer. So we have to talk. So now, for now, we will just focus on the theory questions and then we'll come back to the problems. Then here you can see the losses in the transformer. Then here discuss about the necessity of a earthing with a neat diagram, explain pipe earthing. Okay, write a short notes on fuse and MCPs. Next question, with a neat sketch, explain the construction of a DC machine, right? So that construction is very, very important. Brief on characteristics of a DC shunt motor with a neat diagram. So we have a characteristic diagrams for the three different motors, three different types of motors. That here they have asked only one, that is for 6 marks. Define back EMF, derive torque equation for the DC motor. This is the problem. Give the classification of a DC generator with their equivalent circuit diagrams. So we'll look into this, which are the different types of a DC generator. Explain the principle of working of an induction motor. List the advantages of the rotating field over a rotating armature. Explain the working principle of the alternator. Also derive its EMF equation. So you have the derivation of the EMF equation. Compare squirrel cage and the slip ring types of rotors of an induction motor. So if you understand the construction, then you can easily tell what is the difference. You can do easy comparison between the squirrel cage and the slip ring type of a induction motors. That is one question paper. This is another question paper. This is also same. Okay, this is same. Okay, only difference is this is 18 yearly, same July. This is 17 yearly. In case of 17 yearly, you can see again state and explain Kirchhoff's law. Then simple problem is there. State and explain. Okay, this don't worry about this. This is not in your syllabus. The third question, C. This is also not in your syllabus. This is also not in your syllabus. Okay, let us not see the 17 scheme. Let us not get confused. Only we'll see 18. See, this is January 2020. Uh, First one is state Ohm's law, mention its limitation. Simple circuit they have given, and using the KCL and KVL, excuse me, you have to solve. Simple circuit is there. Define RMS value of an alternating current. Show that the value is proportional to maximum value. So here, whatever is the wording here, you have to do the derivation for the RMS value. What they are saying, the RMS value is proportional to maximum. When you do the derivation, what you get? Excuse me, RMS value is equal to 0.707 VM peak value. That is what you are going to get, right? So therefore you can say VRMS is directly proportional to VM maximum value. Explain the generation of a single phase induced EMF with a suitable diagram. You can see here there are two problems they have asked. Only out of 20, you have only 7 marks. So please focus on the problems also. Sometimes if question paper is difficult, you might see more problems and less of the theory questions. Show that pure inductor, the current lags behind the voltage. Same, this is for 6 marks. And again, we have two problems here. Okay, total 14 marks for the problem. Show that the power in balanced three-phase star connected circuit can be measured by 2 wattmeter method. Okay, so this is again 2 wattmeter problem we have. What is meant by power factor in the AC circuit and what is its significance? Derive EMF equation of a transformer. Okay, that is for 6 marks. And we have explain two-way control and three-way control with a suitable circuit diagram. In this case, it is only for 6 marks. Please make sure that you don't write too much theory here. Don't write in detail. Just draw the correct circuit diagram for these two and the truth table and little bit explanation, because it is only for 6 marks. You have to answer according to how much marks they have allotted. And this is a simple problem based on the efficiency. List different types of losses in the transformer. Okay, and explain each one in brief. That is for 6 marks. What is earthing? Why earthing is required? With the help of with the help of sketch, explain plate earthing. So either plate or the pipe earthing. It is for 8 marks. Write a note on MCB, precaution against electric shock. So precautions is very intuitive. If you read it once, you will understand what is the precautions we have to take. With a neat sketch, explain the construction of various parts of DC generator. So this is the construction. Explain the significance of the back EMF in DC motor. Then this is the problem. Derive the torque equation of a DC motor with usual notation. Then we have, this is a problem. Derive EMF equation of a DC generator. So you can see DC EMF. Wherever there is a EMF equation derivation, you have to remember. Derive the EMF equation of the synchronous generator, and at the same time don't get confused with the one construction with another machine and EMF equation of one with another. Okay, suppose if you are in confusion, EMF equation of a synchronous generator, if you have a dilemma, please, that is the reason I am asking you to write your own answers, so you will have some mechanism to remember. If you have a doubt, okay, whether this is correct or that is correct, I would suggest you do the both the derivations. Don't strike out anything. Do the both derivation, and whichever is the correct, that will be evaluated. With a circuit diagram, explain the working of a star delta starter for a three-phase induction motor. Then we have a problem. Explain the concept of rotating magnetic field. Show that resultant flux remains same at different instant of time. So this derivation we have to do. Then describe the constructional features of synchronous generator with suitable example. So construction we have to give for the synchronous generator. So whatever the questions we talked about, you can see they are repeated. Okay, in many question papers. Again, this is 17 ELE. Let us not look into that. This is also 17 years. Okay. So whatever the questions I told you, those are very, very important question. Prepare them well, thoroughly, memorize. Okay. Definitely you will get those questions. And apart from that, there are other things also are yeah, also there. We are going to cover those other things also. Okay. So this is the complete overview and how the questions are asked in the exam, how we should answer those questions, and what should be our approach towards the examination. And another important thing is, don't leave any questions, okay, in syllabus. At least read something in from that part. Don't leave any part without touching it, okay. At least if you have 1 hour, just in that 1 hour, whatever you can go through, that whatever you can understand, please go through, but prepare the syllabus 100%. Don't leave any part. Suppose if you want to leave any part, at least look at the highlights, what is there, okay, so that in the exam, if you have to write that particular question, at least you will write something. If you write something, there is a possibility of giving some marks. Second important thing, wherever it is applicable, write the equations, mathematical equations, draw the circuit diagram, draw the phasor diagram, draw the waveforms, draw the truth table if it is applicable. Have visuals, more visuals, and try to label everything. For example, construction of any machine. If you have a very neat diagram, please practice. Don't directly go and write it in the exam. Please do practice. Okay, at home, try to sketch and label all the parts. The advantage of doing that is, if your diagram is very, very neat and you have labeled every part that is available in that electrical machine, uh, then examiner will know that you know all the parts and you must have explained all the parts, so you will get maximum marks. Then if you are in confusion, you know there are two ways to answer a particular question. If you have time, answer in both the ways. Don't strike out anything from your answer script. Do not scratch it, okay, let it be there, okay. The examiner will not penalize you for not scratching, okay. Let us say if it is correct, you will get some marks. If it is not, okay, you will not get it. And if you have time, solve using the other method also. Do not scratch anything. Write every bit of a question, right? Whatever the answers you know which is related, please try to attempt all the 5 questions. That is the most important thing. Okay, so that is the introduction. We will start with the module 1.